What kit should I take to Kilimanjaro? Now, I do have an idea of the vast majority of the stuff that I need to take, but I also have some questions and thoughts that I'm still not quite sure about, namely what puffer jacket to take and also what sleeping bag system to take. Anyway, I hope you can help me. Let's get straight into it. Hi, I'm Graham and welcome to my channel. So in less than a week, I'm going to be flying to Tanzania and climbing Kilimanjaro with the StrongMen charity. The StrongMen charity, if you didn't know, is a men's bereavement charity. I'll put lots of information and links in the description below. I've been given a kit list from the tour company and I've got lots of bits and pieces that I know I'm definitely taking, but I've also got a few questions for you guys out there that have climbed Kilimanjaro or experienced hikers. I'd appreciate that you sort of put some comments in the description and let me know what your thoughts are on some of my dilemmas. But before we get onto that, first thing that I've been told is we're only allowed to take 2 big bags on the actual trek. So I'm taking this large duffel bag here, and this is from Osprey. It's a 90-litre bag, and basically what will happen with this will be used by the porters to carry all the sort of kit that I need on a daily basis, but when we're back at camp. So this will have my sleeping bag, spare clothing, other bits and pieces. I'm going to go through that in detail. The other bag that I'll be taking, just get it from here, is the day sack. So this is the one I'll be carrying. So the porters carry the duffel bag, I'll carry this smaller day sack. This is from Osprey. This is a Stratos 34. Really lovely bit of kit, very, very comfortable. I've got a waterproof liner to go on the inside as well, but it also has another cover that goes on the outside. Now, I don't know whether we're going to get lots of rain, but we can't take any chances. We are starting in a rainforest after all. And I just want to make sure that I keep my stuff dry, because once it's wet and cold, it's an absolute nightmare. So that's the day sack and the main sack. There are weight restrictions. Let me just check. Yeah, 12 kilograms in the red duffel bag, and basically what I can carry on here. Obviously, I don't want to carry so much that it slows me down. We are going to be at altitude, and I want to obviously be able to complete the climb. So the first dilemma that I have is the sleeping bag. Now, I've got this amazing Four Seasons Night Star 450 Mango sleeping bag. You can see that. Absolutely lovely bit of kit, super thick, super warm. It's a little bit heavy. I mean, I weighed it out and it was about 2.3, 2.4 kilograms. And bearing in mind we've got a 12 kilogram weight limit, this is where I've got one of my dilemmas. Should I take something like this? It's quite big. It's going to take up quite a lot of room in the duffel bag, and but it's super, super warm. So that's one option. The other option is it packs down to a lot smaller size. Now, obviously the dilemma here is this is nice and thick, Four Seasons. This isn't. I don't know how many seasons this sleeping bag is. That said, it is still pretty warm. Obviously nowhere near as that. What I was thinking of doing was taking the smaller one, but in conjunction with a sleeping bag fleece liner. Now this packs down quite small, and the sleeping bag packs down quite small. Both of it is still smaller than this sleeping bag. In terms of weight, it's slightly less. These two items came to 2 kilograms. As I said, this was about 2.3, 2.4. At the moment, I'm thinking these two. I do like to think that I operate quite warm. I do overheat quite quickly. So this is what I am thinking, but my dilemma is that the right course of action? I'm not sure. I'm asking the experts out there on what they think, or what you think I should do. At the moment, these are winning in terms of pack. This is obviously still a big consideration. The other consideration with it is that I haven't actually weighed everything in the duffel bag yet. Considering there is this 12 kilogram limit, it may be that I have to go with this purely because of the weight. But let's just see what you think in the comments below. One of the things about Kilimanjaro is that we're going to be ascending to various climate zones. So we're going to be starting off in the rainforest, and by the time we get to the top, it's going to be pretty much Arctic conditions. So the best form of managing that is through layers. And that's what I'm going to talk about next. So the first outside layer is waterproofs. Now I've got this fantastic waterproof jacket from Revolution Race. One thing that was really important with this is I got it 2 sizes larger than I normally would wear. And the reason being is that this is going to potentially go over a lot of other clothing when I'm layering up as we go up. It is quite heavy though, but it's super waterproof. We've tested this in the Brecon Beacons and it was actually really good. Just a little bit heavier. So the only thing is around that is that it's going to be great for wind up higher up, but it's going to be very hot when we're in the lower, warmer climates. So alongside that, I've also got this very cheap, thin, like weighs literally nothing, lightweight poncho, something I can just throw over. So if we're in the sort of more temperate zones where it's a bit warmer, we're in the rainforest, I can use this as a waterproof protection rather than the big heavy jacket, so I don't actually overheat. Alongside the jackets, I've also got some Revolution Race waterproof trousers. These are super lightweight, but these will come into themselves when we get higher up, because again, these are going to really help with any wind, and it'll be an extra layer on the legs to keep the warmth in. So that's all my waterproof stuff. As we get higher in Kilimanjaro, it's obviously going to be a lot colder. So one of the other bits of kit that I'm taking with me is this body warmer. This one is by Paramo. Lovely bit of kit. It's very lightweight, packs down really small, and it is actually really super warm. It's also made of nick wax, I believe. I think that's the material, or some sort of form material like that. It is slightly waterproof, and I'm definitely taking this no matter what. Good little bit of kit there for all sorts of conditions. Okay, so now we're on to the big dilemma that I have around what jackets to take with me. Best advice is about layering. So I think I know what I'm going to do, but I really appreciate any experts out there, anyone who's climbed Kilimanjaro before, what they think in the comments, just so I can get an idea to make sure that I am making the right choice about what jacket to actually take. Now, the choices that I have are, this is a Rab down jacket. Now, this thing is super warm. It's super thick. It's very padded. It packs down to a reasonable size, but it's still pretty big compared to some of the other things that I've got. I believe that one of the downsides of a down jacket is that once it gets wet, that they don't retain quite as much heat. The waterproofing on this isn't great, but then the idea of it is that you'll be wearing this kind of jacket when you're high above the clouds anyway. It is a fantastic bit of kit and it is super warm, but it's just big and it is a little bit weighty than some of the other options that I've got. So that's the down jacket. Now the other option is a synthetic padded jacket, which is this one here. It's actually reversible, green and black. It's lighter than the down jacket. It's still pretty padded and it is super warm. But again, it's down to the size. It packs down a fair amount, but it's whether it packs down enough. Now, again, I think the decision's really going to be forced upon me around the bag weight and how much I can actually fit in it, but it is quite thick. Now, we've been told layering is a better option, so I'm not sure. I'm still not sure. So again, your advice and help would really be appreciated. And my final choice, same sort of jacket, but it's a bit thinner. It is super warm. It's called a sleeker jacket made of 180 GM Softy, whatever that is. I've used this forever and a day. It's been a go-to for quite a long time. I love this jacket. It's going a little bit on the cuffs. It's not great in terms of waterproofing, but it's super comfy. And the beauty of it is it packs down to next to nothing compared to the other two. My thought process is that I've got this, I've got the body warmer, I've got base layers, I've got t-shirts, I've got quite a few layers. I also believe that when we meet up at the airport, I've got another thinner padded jacket as well. So I'm guessing at the moment I'm erring on the side of the smaller jacket in combination with the layering rather than the two big puffer jackets, the synthetic or the down jacket. They are really lovely, but I'm just sort of conscious about weight, how much stuff we can fit in our bags, all of that kind of stuff. That said, I am open to suggestions and your advice as well. Now on to the other layers that I'm going to be taking, the other clothing. I've been a bit geeky around this and I've actually broken down what I'm going to be wearing into little waterproof bags and numbered them. Yes, I know that seems a little bit strange, but I've color coded them so I know when I'm sort of rifling through my duffel bag, I can access the clothing I'm going to wear that day. Now, I will say that this is going to depend on, again, keep talking about it, the weight of the actual stuff that I can actually take onto Kilimanjaro, on how many of these bags that I want. But one of the things that I was really keen not to compromise with is socks and underwear. Going to be walking for any length of time, going to be on my feet for a very, very long periods of time. I wanted to make sure that I've got fresh pairs of socks. Now, some people suggested that you only take so many pairs of socks and you can wash them out, dry them out as you're walking. And that may well still be the case, very much against about how much weight I can actually put into my duffel bag. But at the moment, I've pretty much got a small bag for one day of each day that we're on the mountain, and I've broken it down so it's easy to find in my bag. It also means once one bag is empty, I can then put the dirty washing in it and keep that separate from all the clean stuff. So again, it's just, I'll say it's a bit sort of geeky about it, but I think it's going to be really helpful on the mountain. What's in those bags will be the underwear and socks. I'm also got a separate bag for the tops. Now, I'm not going to necessarily need a top for every single day. They are sort of super light, and they're also synthetic material. They're not cotton. Cotton's going to get, when that's wet, it's not going to keep me warm. These tops will wick away the sweat and keep me nice and dry for a lot longer, and they dry very, very quickly. So I don't necessarily think I'm going to need one for every single day. I can kind of rotate them around and use those. So that's from that side of it. Here's just an example of one of the tops. Obviously, I'm doing this with StrongMen, so this will be one of the tops that I wear. And it's a really soft material, and they dry very, very quickly. Added to that, there will be thermal tops. So this is just one of them. I'm only going to take a couple of these just so that they keep me warm at night and also on the summit day. On summit day, I've been even more geeky, and I've actually put everything that I'm going to be wearing in one bag, and I keep this kind of separate. So this has got the socks, the underwear. They're a lot thicker than the other socks that I'm going to be wearing as we in the lower portions of the mountain. There's extra thermal top in there. There's some long johns in there, and a spare hat and gloves and all that kind of stuff will be in this bag. So that on that final night that we have to get up at midnight, I believe, I've got one bag. Everything I know is in there. I'm ready to go for that final push up to the summit. Just a very quick note on trousers. I'm going to have two pairs of hiking trousers. One is a lightweight pair of hiking trousers, and also these trousers. These aren't actually walking trousers, they're cycle trousers. They're a little bit thicker. Again, they're in a kind of the material dries very, very quickly, and because they're a little bit thicker, they'll be useful for the summit day because to help keep the wind off and obviously keep my legs warm. As you would have noticed, I am somewhat challenged on the top of the head in terms of my hair. Therefore, it's really important for me to take several hats. So I've got my StrongMen hat, that obviously goes without saying. I've also got a spare fleece hat, very, very warm, from Under Armour, great little bit of kit. Looks ridiculous, but at the end of the day, I want to stay warm. So I've got two warm hats. I've got my trekking hat. Now this hat, I've had this hat for absolutely years. It's probably 30 to 35 years old, I would say. It's been all around the world with me. It's been to Nepal, it's been to Singapore, Thailand, America, Kenya. It's been, everywhere I've traveled, I've taken this hat with me. And on this occasion though, my wife very kindly put a bit of Velcro on the front, and so I can wear the StrongMen patch. So that's nice and cool. I'm going to use this for the lower parts of the mountain when we're in the rainforest. It's a nice wide brim to sort of like let rain drop off, or any sort of, nasties and things falling off of the trees. And the fact that it's got a bit of sentimental value in terms of how far away in the world it's been with me. Closely linked to hats, I've got several buffs that I'm going to take. So this one is just quite a thin one, but it'll be great for lower down. They're great because you can wet these. They're great for keeping your neck cool, and obviously also keeping the dust out. I've been told that it can be quite dusty up on the mountain as well at times. So something a little bit lightweight, useful for that. Plus, I've got two other buffs. I only need one, but I've got two that I'm thinking about packing. Both of them have got little fleece sections to them, keeping the face warm, especially on summit night. I think these are going to come into themselves. So we've got those. And talking of keeping the extremities warm, I've got 2 pairs of gloves, and I've got these. They're a kind of a neoprene kind of design. I forget the name of the make, cop top or co-top. Great gloves. I like these. They are warm, but more importantly, they're windproof and waterproof. So nice gloves. They also got the little sort of touch things on the fingers, so I can actually operate my mobile phone with them. I do also have some mittens that are super lightweight. I don't know where they are in my pile of clothing and bits and pieces that I've got to pack, but they're just like these fleece waterproof mittens that will come in handy on that summer night. I don't think I can imagine wearing them any other time till then, but they'll be in the bag as well. Added to that, got these sealskin gloves. They're quite bright, so I'm not gonna go missing on top of the mountain. Super warm, very, very waterproof, essential for actually climbing Kilimanjaro. And I suspect I'll be wearing these in a combination with the mittens if I need them on the actual summit day. One other thing that was really important for in the kit list that we were advised on was sunglasses. I've got these. They slightly wrap around a little bit to protect the sides, and they are 100% UV protection. As we get higher, the sun is going to be effectively closer to us, so it's going to be stronger. We need to make sure that we protect our eyes, as well as sunscreen and things like that, which will go into my first aid kit. And talking of first aid kit, here's mine. I've got 2 of them. They're essentially the same, but I've decided to kind of split them between my duffel bag and the stuff that I carry during the daytime. The reason is just for spares, just in case things get lost, but also there's things in one of the bags that I don't think I'm necessarily going to need when I'm out walking. Just sort of things that I can use, comfort things when I get back to the camp. Again, they're color coded, and I've written on the chest again, just so that I'm a bit of a geek to be I can find these things in my duffel bag or in my day sack as we go. A couple of things that I just thought to mention, what's in them. In this one, I have things like my painkillers, so your ibuprofen, the Dialyte for any diarrhea issues. There's antihistamine. There's going to be something like hand gel, zinc oxide tape plasters, all the kind of little bits and pieces that I might need when I'm out walking. And one thing that I just thought was actually worth mentioning is Tiger Balm. Now, I love this stuff. I love the smell of it. It actually helps with it doesn't help me with my breathing as such, but I like the smell. It feels like it's opening the airways. And considering at the top, we're going to be at 50% oxygen than we were be at sea level, I think anything that will help me sort of breathe is going to be great. Obviously, the other beauty of Tiger Balm is the fact that, I can rub it into the sore muscles. And it might be a sort of an urban myth, but when I was trekking in Nepal many, many years ago, a lot of the locals said that when you start getting headaches and things like that, if you rub a very, very small amount into the temples, it supposedly opens up the blood vessels because of the warming sort of sensation, and it can actually help with headaches. Like I said, it could be an urban myth, but I like the idea of it. Yeah, it's great. And the other thing it does seem to do is it helps with keeping the insects away as well. So not so much when we get up to the top, but certainly in the rainforest, I think this will come in handy. I'm imagining this to be a real use, but you never know. When I come back, I'll tell you how I got on with it, and we'll take it from there. Other things in my first aid kit, some Vaseline, and for chafing, things like that. I've got a little bit of pseudo cream as well, little teeny tiny little pots of it. And I'm also taking some electrolyte drinks as well. We've been told to drink quite a lot of water throughout the daytime, and the hydration is super important with the altitude sickness. So having the electrolytes, we'll be sweating, we'll be exerting for long periods of time. It's definitely worth taking some of that as well. That's essentially the first aid kits. If you've got any other things, any other thoughts I haven't mentioned that you think is a useful thing to take, again, please put it in the comments below. I really appreciate help, but really be quick, because I'm going in less than a week. So it'll be really handy to know that last minute trip down to the chemist, pick up any last minute bits and pieces will be really, really helpful. So thank you. I guess connected to the first aid kit, and other sort of essential things to have in certainly my duffel bag is a wash bag. This looks quite big and heavy, but there's a few things I'm probably going to take out of here. But essentially, it's just the usual thing: toothpaste, toothbrush, a little bit of wash kit, some wet wipes, and I'll probably split those between my duffel bag as spares, and then obviously on the walk as well when we're actually hiking. Some hand sanitizer, and these little babies, little earplugs. We've been told that it could be quite noisy in camp, and knowing a lot of the other guys that I'm climbing with, I think having some earplugs so I can get some decent sleep is another essential part of that. So I've taken a few of those. Is there anything else in there that I need? Not really. That's kind of it. Nice and basic. We're not going to be. We have been told there are showers, but they'll be cold. I'm just going to suck it and see. We'll see how it brings, what brings to the camp when we turn up, and also a very small microfiber towel as well, just so that I've got something to dry off if I do get wet or decide to have a very cold shower. Other than the cold, I think probably the next most important piece of equipment or clothing that I'm going to have to take with me is my footwear. Now, I mentioned earlier about socks, so I've got plenty of socks. Again, I might have to change that depending on the weight of the bag, but I've got enough socks, and when we start off lower, they're thinner, and then as we go up higher, I'll finish up on like thick Arctic socks for the summit day. Lower Renegade boots, really comfortable. Now, I have been wearing them for a little while. They are still fairly new, so they're a few months old, but they're nicely broken in, I guess. I've been to a couple of training weekends in Wales and the Peak District, and they're super comfortable and super dry. However, because they're ankle height, which is great because it's going to support our ankles up on there, quite a stiff sole as well. One of the things is when I'm wearing shorts, because what happens is when you're wearing shorts with these is that the legs are going to get wet, and the water runs down, gets into the socks, the water soaks up into the in the socks, and basically you get wet feet. And then because these are Gore-Tex lined, once they're wet inside, they can be a pain to dry out. I'm in two minds about what to do around that. So because I did fancy wearing shorts, I think it's just a case of seeing what the weather's doing. My take would be wearing shorts on the first day, and obviously I've got my waterproof trousers, and they fit over the boots nice and easy with zips, so I can put those on the top, so that if any water does get on my legs, it's going to run over the sides. Other than that, fantastic boot, nice and warm. I think they're going to do me well up on Kilimanjaro. Trainers, nothing special, just a pair of trainers for wearing around the camp, and so just so I can get my feet out of the boots at the end of a long walk. Something more comfortable to slip on as I'm just sort of wandering around the camp and that kind of thing. And also for traveling, nothing too complicated there. I suppose there's a little bit of a dilemma, but again, I think that the weight issue is really going to impact my decision. But I've got a cheaper pair of flip-flops just for things again, it might be that I just want to air my feet. Certainly when we're at the hotel in Tanzania, there'll be an opportunity to chill out for a little bit. These will come into themselves in terms of keeping my feet cool. And also, if I just need something quick to put on, to nip to the toilet, might not want something quite as thin as this. We're in the mountain part and it's really cold. I'll probably go for the trainers in that instance, but I've got them anyway. The only slight dilemma is that I've also got these kind of sandals. And these are really comfortable, and they've got a grip sole. So again, if we are a little bit further up and I need to go to the toilet during the night, they're very simple to put on, and they're a little bit more protective on the feet, and they're not going to flip off like flip-flops do. Again, it's about weight. So what are your thoughts when anybody climbed Kilimanjaro? Did they take flip-flops or did they take sandals? Any advice will do. I think for me, it probably will come down to weight though. We'll just have to wait and see when I've packed the bags and weighed them. Okay, another huge consideration is hydration and food. Now, what we've been told is that we're going to be fed very, very well on the mountain. I've looked on various online resources and they say that we could potentially be burning around 5,000 to 6,000 calories a day and possibly even 6,000 to 7,000 calories on the summit day. I mean, I don't know how accurate those are, but it was just, internet search. But that's a lot of calories, so therefore we're going to get a lot of food. And we've been told that we're going to get, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and there should be plenty of it. Now, one of the other considerations around that is about snacks. Now, I'm not a big snack eater. I don't generally eat snacks throughout the day. Even when I'm walking, I am going to take some very, very small snacks. I was going to buy things when I'm there, and I may well still do that. One of the things that I really do enjoy is crystallized ginger. I know it seems like an odd thing, but I love the flavor. I love the warmth that it gives. And I think that warm feeling that it gives, and it that vapor, if you like, that it can create, it can help with those kinds of things. And also the fact that ginger is great for settling stomach and helping you not feel ill, just in case that might happen. So I've got a little bit of ginger that I'm going to crystallized ginger. Little bags of that I'm going to take as my snack. Closely linked with food is obviously fluids and hydration. And again, I've been told that hydration is super important to aid with going up in altitude and with altitude sickness. So I've been told to drink lots and lots and lots of fluid. I can't remember exactly how much off the top of my head. Maybe someone can drop something in the comments, say how much they would recommend. What my thought processes are, I've got two Nalgene style water bottles, and both of these have got filters. We've been told that the water is going to be purified and boiled anyway, so it's a bit, I'm not sure. I think that having the peace of mind of the filters is going to be good. The only thing is that if you're using things like the electrolyte powders or electrolyte tablets, it kind of defeats the object, putting it into a bottle with a filter, because it's going to filter out some of it's going to filter out, in theory, filter all of the stuff that you want for those like salts and things like that in the body. So I'm going to have to kind of play that with it. But I mean, they both come out very, very easy. This one's a life straw one, and this is Pure Clear. Great company, because these are actually donated to us to actually take with us. So many, many thanks to Pure Clear for these water bottles. They'll come in very, very handy. Again, I'll pop a link in the description on how to find out more about them. I guess it's an opinion thing, or it's some like them, some don't. But I'm also going to take this one's an Osprey one, a water bladder to go in the actual rucksack. Now this is a 3 litre one. I'm never going to fill it with 3 litres, I don't think, but it's a bigger size. But I think having this in the pack, having regular sips as I walk, and then using the water bottles in combination with this, I'm going to give it a go. I mean, I used it in Wales and it was quite handy, not being able to get the water bottle out all the time. So I'm definitely going to be using this and the 2 water bottles. And I think that should do me enough. They're 1 litre bottles each, 2 litres, 4 litres of water throughout the day. I do believe we get refills at lunchtime as well. I think I'm going to be carrying more than enough for the actual trip. You might say differently. You might say something in the comments that will go, actually, I need more. I need a bigger water bottle. Again, any advice around hydration will be very much appreciated. Almost there. A few more things to cover. And we firstly go for kind of the bits and pieces, if you like. So one of the other things that I've got here, let me just get hold of this, are these walking poles. Now, these are from the company Harrier. And they pack down really, really small. When I first got these, I wasn't convinced. Walking with poles wasn't really my thing, and I didn't really think that they would be any use for me or whether I would get on with them. Once somebody showed me how to use them though, and I tested them out in Brecon and the Peak District, they are excellent, really, really good. You've got to find the right technique, and I'm still probably, compared to some people, pretty rusty, well, not rusty, but not great with them. That said, I seem to be getting better all of the time, and I think where they will come into themselves will be coming downhill. Because they're adjustable, I can make them a bit longer, coming downhill, so it gives me that extra stability on the mountain, and it just gives you that little bit of extra push as well, but they're still pretty next to nothing. And these will get attached to my rucksack anyway, so the porters won't be carrying these, I'll be carrying them, so there's no dramas around weight restrictions for that. So those are the walking poles. A few bin liners, not too many. Again, this is more about, you know, things get wet, smelly, dirty clothing can go in the bin liners just to keep them separate from my other clothing. So some bin liners, and connected closely to that, some little Ziploc bags just for putting things in for freshness, keeping things separate, and, you know, my sort of medication and various other bits and pieces will go in those. One of the biggest concerns for me as a photographer and videographer is electrical equipment. So I have to think very carefully about what I'm going to take in terms of electrical gear. I did consider taking my DSLR camera, having sort of weighed up the pros and cons. Yes, I can get some amazing pictures through that, and obviously the versatility of having to be able to control the focal length of the camera, it's outweighed by what I'm going to be actually mainly taking pictures of or videoing. I found that even my phone is pretty good, and I'll talk about some of the little cameras, like the action cameras that I'm going to take. Most of them are very wide angle, so I want to be capturing the big landscape shots of the mountains and the sunrises and everything else, other than lower down on the sort of rainforest, where I might think that it'd be good to zoom in onto wildlife and things like that. I don't really see the massive advantage of taking the DSLR. For me personally, what I am taking is I'm taking a GoPro 12. Now this one isn't actually mine, it was lent to me from a very, very good friend of mine. Keith Mulder Photography is a wedding photographer, and he lent me his GoPro 12 to take with me. It's also got a spare battery, and it's super lightweight, super rugged, it's waterproof, and it's something that I think is actually going to be pretty useful up on the mountain. So thanks Keith for that. I'm looking forward to testing it out compared with my other action camera. I can't show it to you because I'm actually recording this video on it, but here's the box. It's the Insta360 Ace Pro. I did an unboxing video of it quite recently. It was the first time I've ever done one. What I liked about this, A, it was waterproof, B, the flip up camera. I thought that was really great for when I'm, hopefully, as long as like batteries don't run out, it's to actually kind of vlog the whole adventure. So I'm going to create a diary each day, or a couple of minutes just talking into camera, just to tell you what I've been doing, how the day went, and obviously recording clips and taking photos as I go. I'm looking forward to testing it, and I may even do like one of those comparison videos. I know they're a bit out of date now because we've obviously run the GoPro 13, and I believe the Ace Pro 2 may be imminently coming out. Connected to the Insta360 is I'm also taking my 360 camera. I probably won't use this very much, but one thing that I'm really keen to do, and because they're not allowed on Kilimanjaro, is a drone type shot on the top. And the one thing about the 360, this particular 360 camera, is so I can put it on a long selfie stick, which weighed next to nothing, hold it up really high, move it around, and because of the stabilization of these cameras, it will actually look a bit like a drone shot. So it's just something that I'm keen to do. I probably will only use it on that one shot at the end, but I think for me it's going to be worth packing. It's in quite a nice hard case, it's not going to get in the way. It's a little bit of extra weight, but I think it'll be worth it in terms of documenting the trip. Alongside that, obviously some spare batteries and several power packs that I'll be taking as well, just so that I've got enough battery. It was recommended to me. I don't know if it's any good or not. I have tested it. It does seem to work on when the sun's out. Is a solar panel that I can connect to my rucksack, put it on my back, and the sun will hit this obviously and charge up the power packs. What I found is that it does work, but it's not a super powerful charge. I may find this different when we're up on the mountain. I think hopefully there'll be some brighter sun up there, and it will actually charge up some of the power packs. So I'm going to give it a go. It might end up being thrown away, I don't know yet. but we'll test it. I think some of the other guys might be taking them as well. It will come down to weight. It doesn't weigh too much. It's a bit heavy because I've got a power pack in there. We'll probably go in my hand luggage or in my rucksack, and we'll go from there. I'll let you know what I think of it when I come back. It's a, I never really say it, 4-class, I don't know the model number, but it's from Decathlon. Wasn't that expensive. I'll put a link in the description below, and you can have a look for yourself, or wait till I get back and I'll tell you how I got on with it. Head torch, super important. I'm taking 2, one with batteries. I've had this one for a long time, Alien Scout. It's been a great, it's very super bright. The reason I wanted one with batteries and one with charging, A, because of things like charging stuff up, but just in case, you know, I think that first night of the starting the summit, we're up for most of the night. So we could potentially be having these on for very, very long periods of time. And, you know, obviously I don't want them running out halfway up on the summit day. Obviously taking cables and bits and pieces like that, it is the biggest concern when it comes to weight, but at the end of the day, it's what I do. I'm a photographer, and yes, this is for the charity. I want to be able to capture those moments throughout the trip as much as possible and share them with you guys. Something I've almost forgot to mention is the plug. It's just a power plug. I've been told, and from the research that I've done, is that they do have UK style plugs, certainly at the hotel at least in Tanzania. This one's quite a cool one because it's got electrical points for USB-C and USB 3 slots. You can just about see those there, I'm sure. Once I'm on the mounting, I'm going to be relying on their power packs, possibly this solar panel. I'll have to keep the batteries warm by keeping them close to my body. Obviously the cold does affect battery power, but I'm a little bit concerned to make sure that I have enough power to record, you know, the vast majority of the trip, vlogging, video. But hopefully I'll be able to create a nice little summary video, a little bit of a story when I get back, and share that with you guys as well. Just to finish up, firstly, thank you for watching, and you know, if you have found this interesting, pop a like on the little thumbs up, and you know, follow my channel. It'd be really, really appreciated. And I just wanted to remind you of the questions for you guys. The first one being what sleeping bag system to take. So I've got the smaller sleeping bag. It is padded. It goes down to a lot smaller and it's lighter. And combining that with a fleece liner, or the single big 4 Seasons thick sleeping bag. This one is heavier, so that might be, you know, might make my mind up for me, but I appreciate your comments in down below. The other dilemma was the padded jackets. I've got the thick synthetic one, reversible one. It is, you know, a bit of weight to it. It does squash down, but it's still fairly large in the bag. Super, super warm though, but it's one jacket. And, you know, we've been told about layering. This might be too much. Again, I just want to get your thoughts on it. So there was that one. Then the super thick down jacket. This is beautiful. I love this coat, but I'm just worried that it might be too much for Kilimanjaro. But as I said, I'm open to your ideas. I'd love to know your thoughts on it. So again, just a few thoughts and comments on that. And finally, this one, the smaller, thinner jacket. It isn't anywhere near as thick as those two, but it is warm. I do use this a lot. Yeah, I think at the moment, I'm considering this and the layering system. Those might be too big. But finally, just to ask you what your opinion is, that would be really, really appreciated. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope to see you again soon. I promise that I'll do another video when I get back from Kilimanjaro and tell you what worked and what didn't work, what kit I did end up taking, and if I have any regrets about using one bit of kit over the other. Anyway, so I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye.